The DJI Spark, a great little drone. I just got mine earlier this month, and it was my first drone, so I'm quite new at this and learning. And just the other day, I downloaded the new firmware, installed that, and I wanted to test it out. So I took it out to my driveway, and I began testing some of the features. I had having a problem taking selfies while in gesture mode. It just didn't work the last few times I tried it, but now with the new firmware, it worked very well. And I tried the gesture mode to record video. I did have problems with that. It didn't seem to work at all. Then finally it started recording, but as you can see, it wasn't doing a very good job. It cut my head off, and I couldn't get it to stop, so I had to land the thing in order to stop it. And then the next thing I did was I flew the Spark up above the buildings here. The buildings here are very tall, the condo buildings, and the trees are very tall, so you have to go up pretty far to clear them. And I tried the new 180-degree panorama feature, and I got this. It worked pretty well. Because it's not a beautiful scene. I want to do it sometime when there's a beautiful sunset, but it worked quite well. And then the next thing I did was my big mistake. I wanted to try Active Track to have the drone circle around my building where I lived. And this was the big mistake. And also when the drone is up in the air, you get a little disoriented, and the roofs of these buildings look very much alike from the air. And I was actually targeting the building next door, not my building. So I started moving it, put an Active Track, and started swinging it around to do the rotation. And I kind of was afraid it might be too low. So I made it go up a little higher, and I continued the rotation. And of course, what it did is it started going over my house. And the further it got over my house, I've lost the connection with my remote control. Remote control cannot track the Spark when there's a huge building in the way. So I kind of panicked, and I'm not sure what happened, but I think I heard something landing. It said landing, and I couldn't see anything on the screen. Although this video of what happened to the drone was actually recorded on my mobile device, but I did not see it at the time. I don't know how that happened. And I don't know why it decided to just land there. I thought under these circumstances it would return to home once it lose connection with the remote control, but it didn't. It just decided to land right where it was. No. I don't see it at all. I'm going to hit the roof. But I finally did see this. This is the only thing I could see here, and I didn't know what that was, where it was, and I went running around the building, looking all over for it, and was hoping it would land it on the ground somewhere. But then I looked at the flight record, and the flight record clearly showed the flight path that the Spark took and where it was. Although at the time, for some reason, it was not displaying the map behind it. It was just that yellow line. But I knew it was pretty much where to go, and so I went around there to that building and looked up, and that was very big relief to look up at the top of that building and see my little red drone on top there. So I couldn't myself get up there to retrieve it, so I had to call a roofing contractor. And he came right away, I'm glad, before it rained or anything, and he did go up there and retrieve it for me, but I did have to pay him quite a handsome amount to do that, unfortunately. That little lava, that is a tall building. Oh boy. So I've learned my lesson, and the moral of the story is, never lose sight of your drone, Spark or any other drone. And never let a building get between you, the remote control, and the drone. I believe I've learned that lesson.